I live in Coconino County.
Hey, this is Harold back on the floor. I told you there was some craziness going on that was hard to describe, and so one of the things that was mentioned was ballot stuffing. So we have Virginia Guest with us who's actually going to explain what she saw and what she heard from the convention. So Virginia, go ahead.
Hi. Not long ago, before we started voting for the alternates for the A and B delegates to go to the National Convention in Florida, a lady sitting a couple rows behind me got on her cell phone, and I heard her speaking to a relative or a friend or whoever it was, telling them that she was going to pick up a bunch of ballots because she was the only person left in her district or her group, and then she was going to go home. And so I devised from that she was going to be voting for all of them even though they weren't there. A while later, as we were voting, I heard from some of the other people in my group who sit around me that they did see people stuffing like 8 ballots at a time in the box. And so I immediately walked up to the guy who was guarding the ballot box, told him what we saw, asked him if he saw it. He said yes, he did see it. He saw people with more than 4 or 5 sheets stuffing them in there, but he was told to allow that. He told me that that was controlled for because our chairmen were only given enough ballots to hand out to everybody who was physically sitting there at the time. I told him that's not true. My committee chairman was handed more ballots than there were people in our group, so I know that it could be the case for others as well. And he said, well, that shouldn't have happened. They should have only gotten enough ballots for everybody who was sitting there. So he told me to go to the main table and tell them. So I did. I went up to the main table, but there was nobody there. And so I addressed the state chair, Tom Morrison, and I told him what I told him what I had observed and what I've heard from others. And he basically told me that he would figure it out, to just go sit down and not to pursue this any further. He didn't stop the election. He didn't stop. He didn't ask the guy that was guarding the ballot box. He didn't do anything. So I continued to pursue it, and I kept talking to these gentlemen up on the stage. They told me to have a nice day. I told them that I wanted to make a motion to disallow the tally because of ballot stuffing, and they told me that they weren't going to do that because they were going to do whatever their lawyer told them to do. I just don't understand. They're ignoring it. They're acting like it didn't even happen. There's multiple witnesses who saw it. I told them about it while it was happening. They could have stopped it. They chose not to.
They don't. Physically threatened Sean Dow. It actually physically threatened Sean Dow behind closed doors.
Sean Dow.
Physically threatened him. This is like one big, huge mafia day.